The last quarterfinal has concluded. Once again, we have 10 semi-finalists decided by you, the voters at home, and we want to reveal them now.
Exactly. Sadly, turnout was a bit smaller than in previous rounds, but I guess that's a result of voting being a bit shorter as well. Regardless, it was a very intense voting, in which many songs ended up missing qualification by just a few points.
Very dramatic, so let's see who was lucky enough not to fail. We do this by taking a look at the first trio of songs that could have gotten a spot. That contains Svalbard, the Turks and Caicos Islands, and Iran. Svalbard so far had a weird track record of winning the first round they were in twice, only to then fail the next round they're in. We obviously don't know yet if they have won their heat once more, but we could now get the answer if they escape that second round curse. Alternatively, the Turks and Caicos Islands or Iran could make it to their first ever semifinal now. Which scenario is the one that happened? The first country that we can confirm to compete in the semifinals is Svalbard.
We don't know if he has ever lied, but we are not lying when saying that for the first time ever, Svalbard survives a second round. Congratulations to you. We obviously also wish Andy the best in Melodi Festival in Nordic, where results should be out any day now, and will probably be linked somewhere on screen once they are. Anyway, enough with the shameless ads. Let's look at Reunion, Guernsey, and Bangladesh next. None of these three ever reached the semifinals so far, with only Guernsey even having been in a quarterfinal before. They only reached 18th place then, though, so pretty much any result would be an improvement for them. Which of these three has gotten the big triumph, though? That country. That is our second qualifier. Is Guernsey.
Very few other countries have been hurt like Guernsey again and again in this contest, so it's great to see that they finally managed to escape their misery and reach the semifinals for the first time ever. We can only wish the best to also take the final step now to give themselves a proper redemption for all their misfortunes. Before they can, though, more countries qualify from this quarterfinal, and one of them will be the British Indian Ocean Territory, American Samoa, or Haiti. The second split screen with a debutante present, but will it work out this time? We, after all, also have last edition semi-finalists, the British Indian Ocean Territory and American Samoa present. Both tragically missed qualification back then, as 11th and 12th, in perhaps the most controversial semi-final we ever had. Will they have more luck this time? To find out if they are even in that position, let's reveal that the third qualifier is Haiti.
We actually get a debutante in the semifinals. Would have been the first edition ever to not have one, so at least that trend won't begin until next edition, when the contest is officially out of possible debutantes.
Well, at least until Bougainville makes its glorious entry after their planned 2027 independence.
Sure, but we are not there yet. We are only at the results this quarter-final for the time being. Anyway, let's continue with Iceland, Afghanistan, and Ukraine. The winners of Vicinity Vision, a returning artist in Ukraine, still hoping to return to the final for the first time since their debut. Can their dream stay alive? Or will one of the other two now reach the semifinals for the first time ever? Qualifier number 4. to have made it from this quarterfinal is Ukraine.
Ukraine at this point has a really weird trend of reaching the semis every 2 editions, with this time only continuing the trend. Congratulations for that already. We can only hope you will find enough success there to also take the final step into the grand final. Now we can already confirm that a country not from Europe will be the next qualifier, as that is either Canada, Bangladesh, or Réunion. Speaking of weird semi-final patterns, Canada ended their runs there every 2 editions, while ending them in another round every other time. By this logic, they should either fail now or go to the final, but maybe I'm reading too much into this. If it's not them to advance here, however, we would get a first-time semi-finalist next. Will that happen? The 5th qualifier we have today is Canada.
You say I do, it's deja vu. She can borrow your heart till you're something blue.
Well, if the pattern actually means something, this should be a good sign. If not, well, it's still a success, so congratulations. And just like that, half the qualifiers are revealed already, so let's continue with number 6, which is Macau, American Samoa, or Curacao. All 3 were in the semifinals last edition, only Curacao escaped them. We already know one of them gets a second chance for sure. Which one is it, though? That country. That is our 6th qualifier. Is American Samoa.
After getting worse and worse results for a while, American Samoa now reaches the semifinals for a 2nd edition in a row and has the chance to return to its first final since its debut. Congratulations for this. May you get the success needed to also take the final step next. Of course, there are also 4 more countries that will take this qualification step today, and one of them is either Nepal, Afghanistan, or Kuwait. 2 returning artists, as well as Nepal, in any case only countries to never reach the semifinals so far. Who has achieved the big win here and will do it for the first time ever? The 7th country, which will escape quarterfinal 4 into the semifinals, is Kuwait.
Fauzia has truly avenged her own failure a year ago and joins the semifinals of this edition. She can be truly proud of herself. Perhaps this means she can also take the big final step to the grand final. She can dream for sure, but we don't want to leave the other 14 countries left with the anxiety to potentially have to bury their own dreams. So let's continue with the 8th qualifier. That is either the Turks and Caicos Islands, Alderney, or Argentine Antarctica. All 3 territories never made it to the semifinals either, with only Alderney even having been in the quarterfinals before. Can they avoid the fate of being the only crown dependency to never reach the semis? Will another British territory reach the paradise of having qualified? Or does Antarctica get all of its remaining territories through to the semifinals? Our 8th qualifier to go to the semi-finals is the Turks and Caicos Islands.
The curse of these islands was not only broken, it was completely destroyed by them qualifying all the way to the semi-finals. Congratulations to you for pulling this off. Oh dear, just 2 spots left, so let's now look at Macau, the British Indian Ocean Territory, and Bangladesh. 3 Asian territories. Well, one of them debatable as it's sometimes called African, but close enough. Which of them will go through to the semi-finals next? That country that is qualifier number 9 from this quarterfinal is Bangladesh.
Turns out it's actually 2 debutantes to advance to the semifinals. That's certainly an achievement for this edition. Congratulations! Well, and just like that, only a single spot in the semifinals remains. Only a few weeks ago, 84 countries entered these quarterfinals, and in just a moment, only 40 of them will be left. So, qualifier number 10 from quarterfinal 4 is it's Curacao.
For the 3rd edition in a row, Curacao goes to the semi-finals, and thereby proves that they seem incapable of failing earlier. We can only hope Blackbriar can avenge their shocking robbery themselves this time.
And where they can celebrate, the 11 remaining countries sadly can't this time. They all fought hard to get these spots themselves, as seen by their impressive scores, but it just wasn't meant to be this time. Perhaps another time they can prevail.
Now before they can, let us see where we see the qualifiers next.
For the last time this edition, an allocation draw over the 10 qualifiers was conducted to lead to this semi-final allocation. Tomorrow, you get the running orders of the semi-finals, before the first one already begins later that day.
And that's it for today. Don't forget to tune in to the first semi-final tomorrow. Leo Meal will present that to you, while Seiko will join her again for the results. I will be back for the final. Until then, bye!